You're diving deep today into a topic folks often kind of tiptoe around, complex PTSD recovery.
Yeah.
But what if I told you it's not just about surviving?
Mhm.
It's about uncovering a roadmap to really thriving. And this roadmap, it's actually built on understanding the way CPTSD impacts us,
Yeah.
how it works.
Absolutely.
So we're exploring 10 stages of healing.
Okay.
Not like a rigid checklist or anything, but more like a map.
Yeah.
You and I are unfolding this map together as we go.
I like that.
Each stage has its own kind of terrain.
That's right.
And to help us navigate, we have an expert who knows this territory inside and out.
Yeah.
Not just as a psychoanalyst, but someone who's walked this path personally.
That's right. Yeah. I've seen these stages play out both in my own life and in the lives of countless individuals I've worked with over the years.
That dual perspective, that's invaluable.
Thank you.
So, stage 1, blindness.
Okay.
I bet a lot of you listening, you know this.
Yeah.
This is about feeling deeply off, but not knowing why.
Yeah. It's like you got a puzzle, but some pieces are missing.
Mm.
You might see anxiety, depression, maybe emptiness or difficulty connecting with others.
Right.
But instead of linking these to the underlying trauma, you internalize them.
It's so easy to fall into that trap of thinking, something must be wrong with me.
Yeah, and that's the cruel thing about CPTSD, that feeling of being broken.
Right.
It's not the truth of who you are, it's the echo of what you've been through.
Hmm.
It's like looking in a distorted mirror, right? The reflection's off, but not because your asterisk's flawed.
That's such an important distinction.
Yeah.
Speaking of distortions, stage 2, denial,
Okay.
we become masters at minimizing our own experiences.
Oh, absolutely. We're experts at explaining away those red flags.
Right.
It wasn't that bad, or they loved me, just not the right way.
Protecting the image of loved ones.
Yeah.
Clinging to those narratives.
It's true.
But deep down, there's this feeling of, hold on, this doesn't add up.
Right.
So how do we break free?
That's where stage 3 comes in. Awareness.
Okay.
And it's not about placing blame, but connecting cause and effect. Learning about CPTSD, hearing other people's stories.
Right.
It can be like turning on a light in a dark room.
Things click into place.
Exactly.
And that is incredibly empowering.
It validates your experience. It says, this isn't just in your head. There's a reason you feel this way.
Wow.
And as that awareness grows, it often paves the way for stage 4, reclaiming healthy anger.
This stage, reclaiming healthy anger, this is one I struggled with for so long.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Like, I learned to bottle it up.
Right.
But you know what? It's empowering to realize anger itself isn't the enemy.
It's not. And many of us, especially growing up in dysfunctional families, we were taught anger was dangerous.
Right.
Something to be suppressed.
Yeah, push it down.
But when we bottle it up, it festers.
It's got to come out somehow.
It manifests in unhealthy ways.
Like trying to hold a beach ball underwater.
Exactly. It pops up.
And not always in a good way.
Right. And that's why this stage is about reframing our relationship with anger, recognizing that anger, expressed healthily, can be a powerful tool, for setting boundaries and protecting ourselves.
So it's about reclaiming our voice.
It is.
Our right to say this is not okay. But how do we make that shift? How do we go from suppressing to expressing constructively?
It takes practice, for sure.
Yeah.
Therapy can be incredibly helpful.
Right.
Journaling, even talking to someone you trust.
Yeah.
It's about learning new ways to cope with those intense emotions.
And as we get more comfortable with those emotions, we often find ourselves facing stage 5, managing flashbacks.
Right.
It can feel like you're being ambushed by your own past.
Yeah, it can.
But it's actually a sign your brain is trying to process the trauma.
It's like your inner detective is on the case, finally ready to piece together what happened. But that can stir up a lot. Remember that grounding technique we talked about before?
Oh, right.
Bringing your senses into the present moment?
Yes.
That can be a lifeline during a flashback.
Right. Focus on your breath. Notice what you can see, hear, smell, taste, feel.
All of it.
Pull you back to the present.
Exactly. And the more you practice those techniques, the more empowered you become.
So you're learning to navigate those intense flashbacks.
Yes.
But there's another layer to this, right? Trauma doesn't just throw flashbacks. It messes with our inner voice.
Oh, it does.
Which brings us to stage 6, shrinking the inner critic.
That inner critic can be relentless after trauma.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's like it went through boot camp, armed with negative thoughts and self-doubt.
Yeah, constantly whispering, you're not good enough or you're going to fail. Just brutal.
And those thoughts can feel so real, so true, because they're often rooted in messages we received.
From the people who hurt us.
Exactly, the ones who failed to protect
Like
us.
they've become part of us, our wiring.
It's deeply ingrained.
So how do we rewire that? How do we quiet that bully?
It starts with awareness, just like the other stages.
Okay.
Notice those inner critic statements.
Catch them in the act.
Exactly. Once you recognize them, then you can challenge them.
So instead of, I'm not good enough being truth, it's like, hold on, is that really true? Or is that just the critic talking?
Right, exactly.
Okay, I like that.
And then we can counter those messages with some self-compassion.
Be kind to ourselves.
Yeah, I'm doing my best, and that's enough.
It's like replacing those harsh voices with something kinder.
It's like learning to be a supportive friend to yourself,
That's beautiful.
offering that same empathy you'd give someone you love.
And as we do that, it seems like it opens up space for something else.
It does.
Stage 7, grief and mourning.
This one's big.
It can feel heavy, but it can also be freeing.
Absolutely. It's about acknowledging the losses, the childhood we should have had, the love and safety that was missing.
It's giving ourselves permission to grieve what we didn't have.
And it's okay to grieve that. You deserve to.
Yeah.
In grieving, we let those emotions surface. Those tears, they're a release, a way to honor our pain and begin to heal.
Letting go of that weight we've been carrying.
Yes, exactly. And as we move through that grief, something amazing happens.
What's that?
We create space for something new. Stage 8, reconnecting with the wounded inner child.
This stage, it's powerful, but it can be a little like, whoa, what does that even look like?
And think back to that joyful, curious kid you once were.
Yeah.
The one who maybe got lost somewhere along the way. They're still there inside you.
Okay.
This stage is about offering that younger self the love, the validation, the safety they didn't get.
So it's not literally being a kid again, but like tapping into that part of us?
Precisely.
Okay.
It might involve talking to your inner child with kindness,
Interesting.
doing things you enjoyed as a kid, or even just picturing giving your younger self a hug.
We become the ones giving that nurturing.
Yes, exactly. And that's essential for healing those old wounds, stepping into wholeness. As we reconnect with that inner child, we start to integrate those fragmented parts of ourselves.
So it's like putting the pieces back together.
In a way, yeah. And that leads us to stage 9, integration.
So the trauma's not gone,
Right.
but it's different.
It becomes part of our story, but not the whole asterisk story.
Okay.
The narrative shifts. Instead of something is wrong with me, it becomes something wrong happened to me.
That is huge.
It is, because it separates you from the trauma. It's not your identity anymore.
It's something we went through, not who we are.
Exactly.
And that can be so liberating.
It really is. Like you're taking your power back.
It's like, this happened, but it doesn't define me.
Exactly. And that opens things up for the final stage, stage 10, post-traumatic growth.
Okay, now this is where it gets really good.
It does, right?
It's not just surviving anymore. It's like thriving in ways you couldn't have imagined before.
It's recognizing that even in those really dark times, our spirit, that capacity for growth, it's still there. And as we heal, as we integrate the trauma, we often come out stronger, more resilient, more compassionate, all of it.
It's like that Japanese pottery, what's it called? Kintsugi.
Yeah.
Where they repair the broken pieces with gold, so it's more beautiful for having been broken.
I love that analogy because it highlights how our scars, they don't diminish us. They tell our story,
Right.
our resilience, our transformation.
Yeah.
And this stage, this is where we step into that power.
We become like our own source of strength.
You got it? Of love, of support. Everything we didn't get, we can now give to ourselves.
The parents we always needed.
Exactly. Embracing that self-mothering, that self-fathering. It's providing ourselves with that emotional support, the validation, the boundaries, all of it.
Wow. When you put it that way, it's amazing how far we've come from those early stages.
Right.
From feeling so lost to now being able to offer that healing to ourselves.
And you know what's really cool?
What's that?
It's like a ripple effect. As we heal, we create ripples that go outward,
Oh, I like that.
touching the lives of people around us too.
So to everyone listening, maybe you're at the beginning feeling overwhelmed, please hear this. Healing is possible.
It is. It truly is.
You are not alone, and the strength, it's already in you.
You just got to tap into it,
Trust the process. Be kind to yourself. You've got this.
Absolutely. Never underestimate your own power to heal and create a life full of joy, connection, purpose, all of it.
That is a beautiful reminder and a perfect place to end our deep dive for today. If anything resonated with you, remember, you can always revisit these stages. This is here for you. Until next time, take care, everyone.